Tens of thousands of workers will see an increase in earnings after it was announced that the so-called living wage will be going up.
The national announcement was made in Nottingham this morning, increasing the hourly rate by 20 pence to £7.65. Nottinghamshire Police is now the first force in the country to commit to the wage. Heale reports.
The new living wage figure is £7.65.
A welcome announcement for supporters of the living wage. It's not enforced by law like the minimum wage of £6.31, but campaigners say employers should feel a moral duty to pay it. Academics at Loughborough University have worked out the increase based on the real rising cost of living. The East Midlands has the highest number of people earning under the living wage than any other government region in England. That's around 300,000 people, and the majority are women, working in the catering, retail and hospitality industries. A strong supporter of the living wage is 18-year-old Judari scholar from Sherwood.
Family life was really hard and difficult for us growing up.
One of 7, his mum had 3 jobs. He says the living wage would have made a huge difference to their lives.
Things like being able to come along to my parents' evenings, helping out with myself and my homework, just being there generally around the house for myself and my sisters when we needed her.
More East Midlands employers are supporting the living wage. Many councils have already committed to it. Nottinghamshire County Council now says 2,000 staff will get the living wage from April. And today, Nottinghamshire Police announced it would be the first force in the country to sign up.
There are 4,500 people who work for Nottinghamshire, but I don't want to stop there. We've written to all our contractors and said, when we put our services out in the future, we want you to pay the living wage too.
Many employers say they can't afford to pay the living wage, but campaigners argue it makes strong business sense, improving staff retention and motivation. Heale, BBC East Midlands Today, Nottingham.
Well, a short time ago, I spoke to George Cowcher from the Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire Chamber of Commerce. I asked him if he thought that paying the living wage would be an unwelcome burden for business.
Well, we think it's up to individual companies to decide how much they wish to pay their employees. A national minimum wage is very important, and we've always supported that. Whether people go above that really is up to them. Many different companies reward their workers in different ways. Some pay more on training, some give other forms of support. So we think it's up to individual companies to decide.
So what you don't want to see is coercion?
Well, that always has an effect on the market, and that will be not necessarily helpful in terms of employing more people.
Yes, I think you're being diplomatic. I wonder whether what we might see is a two-tier system developing where some firms do offer the living wage, others don't, and those others will have problems recruiting.
Well, we are going to move into a tightening labour market as employment levels rise. So all employers are going to have to look at ways in which they can ensure that they source the right number of employees of the right quality, and therefore they'll be looking very much at the way in which they pay them.
George Cowcher, thank you very much.